Hey, welcome in. It's Holden. It's DC. It's Big T. We're going to talk some baseball, get you ready for the DFS slate today. 14 games. And as somebody told DC, 14 games in Holden equals 3 hours. And I promise you that is not going to happen, DC, because I can't handle that. I really don't want to talk for 3 hours, buddy. How are you today? Gigantic slate. Give me a little overview.
Yeah, I'm good. Hoping it doesn't go 3 hours, but hey, if it does, I'll be here the whole time. Excellent slate. We're coming off that kind of gross 5-game slate last night. Didn't work out for yours truly over here, but we'll rebound tonight. A lot of pitching options, a lot of ways to go with the offense. It's warming up a little bit around the country. I don't really see any weather concerns at all. So all signs pointing up. We got good mojo in the chat, and we're going to get some winners out there tonight.
Good mojo in the chat. That's all that matters. If we got good mojo in the chat, we're going to be fine tonight. What's up, Big T? How are you, buddy? What's the thoughts on these 14 games here? Nice armoire in the background. I like it.
What's going on? Yeah, it's exciting to be back. I like these baseball shows. Yesterday, me and DC got into it a little bit. Maybe he could argue. I don't know if either one of us got a victory yesterday. It was one of those days where I certainly much happened. And I certainly didn't too. So we're going to meet in the middle on that because I didn't have many victories last night. A couple of the pitchers went off. It's a little bit rough when
we disagreed on everything and neither of us won. I don't know how that works.
Yeah. That would happen.
It was definitely not a victory lap type slate. So we'll move on to today, though. We're going to pick some winners today. I don't know yet if we're going to agree or disagree, but we'll have some fun doing it.
Joey Work's already talking trash in the chat. I was just saying something nice about you, Joey Work. But all right, I'm still
better be about Holden. There's no way he's talking bad about us with the MMA weekend coming. A big day tomorrow. Yeah. I can't wait for that show with DC, Joey Work, and Title. That's my favorite show of the week.
When is it? What time?
11 o'clock, right, know? DC?
Yep, 11 Eastern time.
Beautiful. No, like I'm saying, if you had a bad night last night, just go over to the bet side and tail Joey Work, because the guy has been absolute. It's like my bankroll has tripled since I'm not even kidding. Since baseball season started, it has tripled.
What day was that? We brought him on here and he told us to bet Milwaukee first 5 and they won like 6-0 for us. Was that Monday or Tuesday? Whatever day that was, he came on and got it done for us.
The dude's just crushing. So Joey, as much as we don't like each other, you're doing a great job, buddy. Actually, he's the one guy from the bet side that's going to come out and hang out with me this summer. We're going to go whitewater rafting in the mountains here in Colorado. It's going to be great. I can't wait to see you, Joey Work. That actually gives me a second to let you know we got a code out here, RPS Heater 25. Sign up monthly, elite or bets, or elite plus bets, 25% off your first payment. Works for monthly subscriptions. I'm in that MLB chat side on the bet side, and I keep seeing new people every day. And then we do the Up to Lock show with JSU, me and JSU, every day. New questions coming in. I'm sure it's the same way on the Wood show too. So let's get into this though. Enough puff at each other, and we'll start at the pitchers tonight. So DC, what's your pool? I got 3 guys on my mind. Okay. Alcantara, Inoa, and Mike Minor. These are the 3 guys that are standing out to me, but I want you to start with DeGrom and whether or not he's just an auto lock tonight.
Pretty much. Yeah. He's expensive for sure. 10.9K on DraftKings, 12.5 on FanDuel, way up there. But on a 14-game slate, there's a lot of really, really good value. I've got like 5 or 6 2.7K or below guys, hitters that I like. DeGrom, the dude's just on another planet right now. Like, I don't think it's hyperbole to say he's at this point in time, like this current version of DeGrom is the best pitcher that baseball's ever seen. He's just that good. I think he's a stone lock in basically any matchup, including this one against the Nationals. I don't know, his price on DraftKings, where I would consider like not playing him in an optimal type build, would be 14K, something like that. Like he's just way underpriced, even at 10.9K. So there are other options for sure on this slate, but for me, I want to start my build with DeGrom, take my 30 to 40 plus fantasy points, and go from there.
All right, very good. Big T, just lock and load here. You like to pay up for pitchers. DeGrom's in, right? Or is it a double spend up night tonight? Some other avenues to go? What are you doing with DeGrom?
Yeah, it's a lock for me. I mean, in the projections, I use projections a decent amount for baseball. He's just projected so much higher than anyone. Like DC said, I mean, he's projected in the 30s most places. I'm just going to play him. And what's funny is, like, by midseason or later in the season, these studs get priced up to 13K in that range. He's still only 10-9, what DC said, 12-5 or whatever on FanDuel. I don't care. There's 14 games. We're going to find you some cheap bats, I promise you. I'm playing him on all my teams. And I like slates like this because you don't have to overthink pitching. You play him, you find one other guy to go with him on DK. On FanDuel, you just play him. And then we find the hitters. It makes it a lot easier, even though it's 14 games. We don't have to get that cute. Just lock them in and take our chances.
All right. So draft cheat. Is it okay if I call you draft cheat? Like your
You can call me whatever you want. Yeah, draft cheat, that works.
Draft, it's so formal, but that's fine. Who's in the mix for SP2? I just want to throw one name out there. I mean, I love Alcantara's stuff. I know it tonight, but Mike Minor, he's going up against the Tigers, second highest K rate against lefties. Is he in the circle of trust tonight? And what's the SP2 pool?
Yeah, a few guys. You got two of them right there for me. Alcantara, who's been awesome all season. We've been on him. Results wise hasn't been phenomenal these last two games, but the stuff remains the same. He's just a fantastic pitcher. He goes into San Francisco, nice pitcher's park, and against a lineup that he pitched really well against. He was pretty unlucky to give up a few earned runs against them last time out, but yeah, I expect Alcantara to do really well against this Giants lineup, who doesn't hit right-handed pitching very well. And then Mike Minor, like you mentioned, I think he's a very strong option. There won't be, I don't think, that many times this season I'm going to be riding the Mike Minor train, but man, this lineup for the Tigers, just up and down the lineup, you're looking at 23 to 45% strikeout rates for basically every single hitter. Minor, nothing special, but I mean, he's capable of getting it done. He threw 99 pitches in his last start, so he's going to get to go out there for as long as he can go. And yeah, I mean, it's just a matchup play mostly with Mike Minor. So yeah, I'm in on him too.
Okay. So let's look at this, Big T. You're spending up for DeGrom already. And there's some pretty good pitchers up there too. Glasnow tonight against Toronto. Glasnow's been tremendous. Darvish with a tough matchup, but he's fine too. Sonny Gray at 9-3 at St. Louis. This is not a bad matchup. I'm seeing a lot of good arms up top. And if you didn't want to go down to Alcantara or Minor, give me those guys. Who's the SP2?
Yeah, there's a lot of good pitching tonight. And pitching's dominated this year. We've been talking about it. The weather's been cold. The pitching has just been dominant. You look at these guys at the top. Kershaw looks rejuvenated. He's been incredible out of the gate. Glasnow's been incredible out of the gate. Darvish has been incredible out of the gate. So all three of those guys, I mean, if you land on them, like Kershaw, I think his last start was against San Diego, I believe. DC knows better than me, I'm sure. That's right, DC, right? Yeah. So
a rematch. These two faced off. Yep. Last time. Yep.
And you Darvish, I mean, so I get a little nervous about the second time, especially against these offenses. And I probably won't pay up for both just because, I mean, it's just tough. I mean, there's a lot of bats, but we want to get some big bats in there. And the middle range is so good that I don't think you need to go up here. But if you find a team with a cheap stack, like I have no issue playing. Like I'd play one of these guys over one of the cheaper guys if they fit. I mean, we always talk about leaving salary. I don't have a problem doing it. Yeah, if it lands on it, I'm not going to force it, though. I'm more than likely going to go down to – there's a bunch of good cheap pitchers, too, that are projected good. I mean, Alex Wood versus Miami, he's always been a relatively high upside guy. This Yanoa, I think that's how you pronounce it. You guys can make fun of me if not. But I like him, 7,500 against Arizona. I think the mid-range Alcantara, too, like you said, I always like him. There's a lot of good pitching tonight, so I don't have a problem going down to this range over the top. But if I land and I got salary left, I'm not scared to play one of those guys either.
All right. We did have a little question here before we get to the bats. I want to take some questions from YouTube, but first, you better hit the like button because it's a little low right now. Maybe it's my fault. I didn't tell you to hit it right off the bat. 300 watching, 77 likes. That's a little weak. What are we shooting for today, Big T? What's the number? 250?
Yeah, I mean, we got what? There's already 300. Yeah, we got to get to, let's just say 200. We got to get to 200.
200? I'll take it. That's wonderful. So here's the question we got in the chat. With all the pitching we talk about, is stacking a must if we're paying up tonight? And it's this is a game theory question. I think it's a great one. Mini stacking, full stacking. How do we do this, Big T?
I think DC feels a little different than me on this. I think you at least need to min stack. Like, I'm not going to play. I don't think you need like a 5-3 stack. I definitely don't think that. But I think you need like a 3-2-2-2 or a 2. You need some form of stack, at least I think, on a 14-game slate. My preferred, like, I love on slates like this to find a cheap stack where I can play 4 guys maybe with my 2 pitchers I like, and then maybe a 2-2 or a 2-1-1 with it. So I guess the short answer I would give is at least some sort of correlation.
All right, DC, what's your take on this?
Yeah, I actually think the bigger the slate for me, the more likely I am to stack, just because there's probably going to be a team that goes absolutely crazy, and it's hard to get there with individual plays on like a 5-game slate or a 7-game slate like we've seen recently. I think it's, there might not be one team that goes absolutely nuclear, and you can kind of get there with individual plays from several different teams. But I've built several lineups already today, and most of them do have, at least 3 guys, 3, 4, 5 guys on the team, and then I'm not afraid to, I don't need to go like 5 guys from one, 3 on the other. I can, choose one-offs, each of my 3 guys on a stack. But yeah, I do think you want some correlation, like Big T said. And, for me, the bigger the slate, the more likely or the more important I feel to do that.
All right. So here's the other thing. And G Ryzen, if you play FanDuel and maybe you see G Ryzen up there and you're like, who the hell is this guy? I've never even heard of this G Ryzen guy. He's the FanDuel guy. Like, his stack crushed last night. I don't even play FanDuel. One night I was like, oh, he's on the Braves. Let's see how we translate this to DraftKings. It was my best night so far. So that's the first thing I recommend G Ryzen. He might smell a little funky, but don't worry about it. He's really good at this. And then the second thing, he wanted to know about Casey Mize. He's a Tigers guy, DC. Mize is a guy I've completely come around on. Wasn't sure he was ready for this. He looks nasty. I know he had a little hiccup.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about him. What are we doing tonight?
He didn't make my list. I don't have any Royals on my rosters either, so it's not like I'm, against him. I'm just not quite sure what exactly is going on with him. Like, his stuff looks really good, but the results just haven't looked great. He's not getting many swinging strikes. Like, he's not standing out at all in my metrics and models and stuff like that. So I don't mind it. I mean, he does look really talented. Clearly is really talented. I just need to see it from him a little bit at the big league level before I'm kind of willing to invest there. But yeah, no problem with it. He's super cheap. I think he's another one of those SP2s on DraftKings you can certainly use. I do prefer Minor, Alcantara. But yeah, I have no problem with Casey Mize.
Okay. How about you, Big T? Any thoughts on him?
I basically agree. I mean, I'm looking at all that range. It sounds like a cop-out, but a lot of those pitchers look very similar to me, where they're projected for 15 points or something, where I think they'll be solid. I mean, I'm not forcing Mize in. I don't love it, but if I landed on him with a DeGrom, like, I've built a team, I think, with all cores with DeGrom that Mize fit really nicely with. So, I mean, I don't have an issue with it. I think he's fine tonight. He's not like my favorite. I basically agree with exactly how DC covered it.
Wow. Look at that.
I mean, I can't disagree. Some days I might agree with them all day.
I hope
we agree.
We disagreed all the time yesterday, and we both lost, so we got to get on the same page today.
Get right. Yeah. I mean, we shipped the last time. I mean, last Friday.
Exactly. We got it was too much bad mojo yesterday. We got to get on the same page here, Big T.
I like it.
Twatty Lottie in the house too. What up, Twatty? Long time, buddy. Want to see you again here pretty soon. Okay. So it's time to promote something. DC, tell them about your podcast.
Yeah, Monday through Friday, talking baseball. I had a long one this morning with JT Hayes. I think we went 90 minutes. We got 14 games to talk about, so we'll talk about them till we cover all the information you guys need. It's kind of a little bit of a first look for me and whoever the guest is. It's kind of a rotating cast of characters, and most of my opinions will kind of hold true from the previous night until this show. But occasionally, I spend all morning and early afternoon kind of digging in further on the pitchers and hitters that I was interested in, and I'll uncover new information sometimes, or it'll further increase my confidence in a play. And then, if you listen to that and then you kind of watch the show, you get a good idea of kind of, what my thought process was and where I'm at now as we get closer to lock. So it's been growing and downloads are up, and appreciate all the listeners. Check it out. Just search Run Pure Sports anywhere you find a podcast.
All right. Very good. Love it. Check it out. So let's go to catcher. A lot of people's least favorite position. I'm just to throw one name out at you, Big T. Tom Murphy, 2.7. Seattle's at Boston. Nice matchup here. Righty lefty matchup. Wind's blowing out. Give me some Tom Murphy. What's your player pool at catcher today?
Yeah, I like the Murphy call. He's 2,700. We like cheap catchers. I like Murphy against lefties always. I like lefties at Fenway, obviously. I mean, you have to like – I like guys again. I like righties against lefties at Fenway, I should clarify. But, yeah, 2,700. Have to like him. Wilson Ramos against Minor, I think, is going to be really low owned. He's had a good start to the season. I like him always against lefties, so he sticks out at the top. We got the Rockies lineup, right? That what's the catcher's name?
Nunez.
Yeah, Russian.
Yeah, I love Nunez tonight. I know he's going to be, I'm sure, popular because he's at Coors, but he's been crushing. He's at Coors. The weather's getting a little bit warmer. I think it might rain here in a minute, but it's at least not cold like it was the last week or so. It's starting. Coors might heat up this weekend. I'm a notorious Coors fader. But I don't know. This weekend we might see some runs at Coors, so definitely on Nunez as well.
It's gonna be in the 70s, and the dude's hit a home run in 3 or 4 games too. So I mean, you're right. It's gonna cool off a little bit at night, but it's still a huge park. I think that's a misconception about Coors, is that it's not only the light air; it's just a gigantic outfield. I mean, you talk to players; they're all like, "That's the biggest problem with Coors. Sure, the ball's gonna fly out, but when I got 8 million miles to cover in the outfield." Yeah. That's why you see so many triples there. All right, DC, let's do it. Catcher pool.
Yeah, agree with Murphy and Nunez, 2 of my top options as well. I got three more guys on my list. Tyler Stevenson for the Cincinnati Reds. He's hitting 8th. Not ideal, but frankly, most catchers are, so kind of is what it is. I think he's a very good hitter. He's a youngster, kind of a former first-round draft pick. Not a ton of major league experience, but I've been really impressed watching him play. I like that Cincinnati team against the lefty Kim in St. Louis, who I don't think is any good. So Stevenson at 3,500. And then Roberto Perez for the Indians. He's been smashing this year, especially against left-handed pitching. Gets Jordan Montgomery, who's not bad, but I do like this matchup for Perez. I think he'll go probably way under the radar. I don't see much hype around him at all. So if you want to get away from the chalk, I think you'll see Nunez and Murphy come in as the 2 most popular catchers. I think that makes sense. I don't have any, I like both guys too. I'll have exposure to both those guys. But if you want to get off the beaten path a little bit, Stevenson and Roberto Perez, the 2 guys I'm looking at, both 3,500 on DraftKings.
Yeah, I'm just looking at some of the ISOs here. Like Contreras is out there with the Cubs. Salvi Perez is going to be too much to pay up for. Same thing with Real Muto. Ramos has a 344 ISO. I know the chat's saying he's cooled off a little bit, but the guy is still, he's got a big bat. I mean, it's as simple as that. Tonight is the perfect night to pay down for catcher because I think we just dug up a couple of guys.
One guy too that sticks out that I didn't think of when I was looking, if he makes the lineup, but this Bim Boom is 2K. I like him for min price 2K.
You had him in your core the other night too, didn't you? Bim Boom.
He's probably 2K again. That's
he
probably
was.
why I put him in there.
He was.
I never mind a 2K guy. He's got a tiny bit of pop too. Like he's treating me well at times.
Well, let me ask you another question then, because we kind of talk about this in the NBA. It's a lot different in baseball, but do you just kind of take the hit on 2K so you can fit other guys in there?
Well, I at least want some correlate. I'm not literally just playing a 2K guy just to make it work. Like I want to at least like the matchup or like like maybe if I had the perfect team, I get both pitchers I want. Maybe I punt it with someone, but I still like to at least like the matchup. I'm not going to just totally put it in there.
Okay. We've got 335 watching. We got 137 likes. Big T said to get us to 200. I say we can get to 250. So let's go. Let's get it going. Come on. Hit the like button. Show us some love. You're getting some great information here. We got DC. We got Big T. I mean, you'll stand me and everything's good. First base, DC. Okay. So before we get to first base, is there a position that you're going to pay up for tonight?
Yes, I will be paying up at some positions. First base seems like a pretty good one to do it. Of course, Freddie Freeman against Luke Weaver in Atlanta is a good option. 6,200. That's a lot to pay. That's about as high as a hitter gets in terms of pricing, but he's going to come out of his little slump sooner rather than later. So I do like Freeman. They got Acuna back in the lineup, which obviously helps that offense overall. My favorite first baseman, though, if you're spending up here, is Matty Olson in Baltimore against Jorge Lopez, 5K. He's been on fire to start the year, 6 home runs already, coming off a 2 home run game against the Twins. Great hitter's park, obviously, in Baltimore, and gets a guy in Jorge Lopez who doesn't miss many bats. Olson's biggest weakness, obviously, is strikeouts. Probably not going to be a problem against Lopez in that Baltimore bullpen. So Matt Olson at 5K, that's the guy I most want in my lineups.
Yeah, I love him. One of my favorite stats in baseball is ISO, isolated power, basically. He's 4th in the league at 368. His BABIP's only 293. I mean, that's going to come up too. Love me some Matt Olson. But Big T, let me tell you the guy that's really standing out to me, another cheaper guy, CJ Cron, 3.9. He's here at Coors again. He went 0 for 4 in his last game. I watched that Rockies game. He got robbed twice. He is smoking the baseball. So I think if you want to save a little, Cron might be that guy. Who's in your pool here at first base? Matt Olson has to be there.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt I play Matt Olson tonight. I do like him. I don't know if I'd like play him as a one-off. First base is just loaded to where I like a lot of guys, and I don't think I'm on Oakland as much. But, I mean, anytime you play Matt Olson, you're in good shape. So if you like him, go with it. I'm not saying to not. But, yeah, CJ Cron, 3,900. I'm going to be higher on Coors than I usually am. I think the Rockies really get going tonight. So I'll definitely be on Cron. You have to at least have some interest in Reese, although I do like Colorado more than Philly tonight, just because I respect Marquez, just like I know DC does. So I don't know, though. Philly might come in lower owned than they should for a Coors game, huge slate. So I'm not totally off Philly. I just like Colorado more. Just looking at some of the other guys, Brad Miller, if he makes the lineup, he hit a bomb for us the other night. He'll probably play against a righty, right, DC? He should be in there.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And a good time to point out, because you might see Matt Joyce in there as well. Colorado only has one lefty in the entire bullpen available tonight. So
don't get me excited.
Yeah,
don't get me excited early on.
Matt Joyce.
So Joyce and Miller have a better chance to stay in there all game for sure.
You're getting me very, very excited.
There we go.
You're talking dirty early on here.
We just
I knew you were going to be coming with the platoon bats over
Big
in
platoon.
Field. So I had to do some bullpen research for my guy Big T. You know,
man, you're bringing
last night I
good
did an
mojo.
all platoon lineup just to have some fun. It didn't work out well, but I bet you Matt Joyce is going to be in Big T's core tonight. He should be. I hope he is.
I mean, I'm for sure 6 to midnight right now in DC. We had bad mojo yesterday. We got great mojo going today. But I would love nothing more than to play Brad and Joyce, knowing they only got one dude in the bullpen. I mean, he's probably bad too. Who is it? If you don't know who it is, then he's bad. So that's all I need to know.
Correct. Yeah.
Good.
But yeah, I mean, Brad Miller is 3K, and Brad Miller is never that high owned, even at Coors, I'm sure. So sign me up for him or Cron.
I want to remind you guys, RPS Heater 25. RPS Heater 25 is the code. 25% off your first payment. Monthly Elite or Elite Plus bets option works for monthly subscriptions only. I cannot recommend the bet side enough. You know what we bring here on the sports side. We bring winners. We got the best team in the industry, and I'm not even messing around. If I didn't work here, I probably wouldn't say it because I'd be really angry at these guys. But you know, I do. I'm telling you, it's just amazing. They've helped me out a lot. It's nice to see. Were you going to say something, DC? Was something at the tip of your tongue?
I wanted to give the name of the lefty in the Rockies pen. His name is Ben Bowden, and we'll see if he gets in there. But I don't think he's any good anyway.
Okay, very good.
Love it.
Hey, I said that just for you. Joey worked very good. I said it just for you, pal.
One guy just to throw out, just because I've gone through the list as we go, just to be detailed. But this Blandino, I like this guy. He's another, DC makes fun of me for the splits, but he's 2K. Like, he's eligible at first and third base. He's hitting fifth for the Reds. You can put him with DC's catcher, Stevenson, go with a little lower red stack for super cheap. I mean, he's 2K, and he's always been pretty good in the split spot. So I don't hate it for 2K, although I hate playing a punt at first base. I like it's too much upside at first base. But if you, what did I say? He's eligible at third. I mean, maybe you play him at third or something.
So second base, the position we're going to get to now. DC, let me ask you about this guy. You know, I like Minor tonight, but I like a guy on the other side, and that's Jonathan Scope. Exit velocity's coming up, so I'm at a home run the other night. Big fan of Jonathan Scope's skill set. We don't talk about him very much. Tell me about Jonathan Scope if you have any opinions, and who's the core here at second base? Who's the player pool?
Yeah, I think Scope is fine. He just hasn't been very good so far this year. But we know he can hit. I mean, he's been hitting for years at the big league level. So I don't mind him if you're not on Minor. Second base a little bit tough today. I thought Ryan McMahon stands out in Coors Field. You can play him at second or third, 5,200. Gets Velasquez. I'm on the Rockies tonight for sure. Velasquez is just not any good now. He's got to go into Coors Field. It's a little bit warmer, as you guys know, out here in Denver. So he's my top option, although it's close. Jed Lowry, the dude is he's just crushing right now. And it doesn't appear to be something that's going to slow down anytime soon. So I'm looking at that little Jed Lowry out of the 2-hole, Matt Olson out of the 3-hole mini stack. Lowry, a switch hitter. He's obviously not going to come out of the game. He's been on fire, and he's a guy that I think really benefits from a smaller park like he's going to get in Baltimore, because he doesn't have the most power in the world, obviously. So, yeah, Jed Lowry and McMahon, my two guys at the top here.
You could, I mean, if you're just talking about the A's, we're going to talk about a stack later, but Lowry, Olson, Moreland, a little Moreland action.
Yeah, Moreland you could play, but he's first baseman with Olson, and I much prefer Olson. Seth Brown, the guy, I think he's hitting 6th or 7th on the left side. He's kind of my third guy in that Oakland mini stack.
You like him. Okay, thank you very much, Harold Booker. I appreciate that for the words of encouragement. So, second base, Big T. Who are we paying down for today?
Yeah, one of my most narrow player pools of the day. I only got 3 guys at second base. McMahon, obviously, he's probably who I'm going to end up playing, honestly, just because I want Rocky's bats. He's just one of the only good second basemen. I like Scope, like you said, for 3,300. I always like him against lefties. Minor's decent enough to where I'm not crazy about it. And then the third guy is Diaz from Houston, who hasn't been great, hitting in the 7-hole. But against Haney, I just don't like Haney much. Houston got going a little bit yesterday. They still weren't great, but I don't know. He's 3,900. I could definitely go there. Those are my only 3 guys in my player pool, though. I'm not going to play Lowry, but I get that as well.
Yeah, the question is, how do you fit these guys in? Is right? If you're paying up for pitcher, like how do you fit all these A's guys in? It's just going to be tough. So we need to find these gems, and that's what we'll have. We'll have on a premium side. You sign up for Run Pure Sports, you get all this stuff. Plus, D-Rock's article is out too. He's got a little stack that he threw out there. Big fan of D-Rock. What up, D-Rock? If you're not watching, you won't hear this. So we're at 169 on the like button here. Again, Big T's calling 200. I think we get to 250. We are doing this for free for you guys. You're getting 2 of the best minds and me in baseball here. So let's go. Show the love. Show a little appreciation. It'll bring you good mojo, and then everybody wins and we're all happy. Big T, third base. Like, here's the guy staring me in the face is Alec Bohm, because he's here in Colorado. He's got a nice bat. I don't know. I'm not thrilled about this position tonight. You got a pool?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys at third that are still in my pool. I mean, obviously Bohm, obviously McMahon you can play at third as well, although I'd probably play him at second. You got Matt Chapman, always is going to be in my player pool. Bregman against a lefty, 4,900. Yoan Moncada, one of my favorites, if not my favorite player. I always love him against righties. He hasn't been great to start the year, but, I mean, I'm still going to trust it. Gio Urshela, only 3,300 against a lefty as well. I don't know. Third base is pretty wide open for me. There's a ton of guys. I'm looking in the cheap range to see if, I mean, Blandino, I talked about Blandino at 2K. I'd probably play him at third base over first just because of how much I like first base. But, yeah, I mean, I got like 8 or 9 guys in my player pool still here. Maybe DC can get us over the hump with somebody.
Maybe you can. DC, I need some help at third base, honestly, because I'm just stuck on Bohm, and I don't want to sit here on one player.
Yeah, I'm not in love with Bohm. I just haven't been impressed with what I've seen so far. I know he's in Coors Field, but like other than that, I don't really want to play him against Marquez. So I'm probably off of him. Much prefer McMahon in that same game. I do think you could spend on Jose Ramirez against Jordan Montgomery. He hasn't been super great so far, but this looks like a pretty good matchup for me with Ramirez. I actually kind of like the Indians overall. Josh Donaldson has been on fire to start the year. We haven't talked about many Twins, and I think the Twins are going to go way, way under the radar. Opposing starter Brubaker, he seems okay, but nothing to scare me away. Twins have some good bats. Even his teammate Luis Arias. I wouldn't want to play Arias as a one-off because he's mostly a singles, doubles hitter, but dude gets 4-hit games all the time. So if you're stacking up the Twins, I would want to include him. Couple cheap guys, 2 guys from the Pirates who I like a little bit against Jay Happ, who I think is kind of past it at this point. Phillip Evans kind of has come out of nowhere, but he's been hitting the ball real well, first or third base eligible. And then the Todd father, Todd Frazier, down at 2,700. I mean, he was like on their alternate site, but they lost to Brian Hayes. They called him up. He's going to be the DH tonight, I believe. He can still hit lefties. Like he's crushed lefties his whole career. Even these last couple of years when he hasn't been quite as good, he still is mashing lefties. Gets Jay Happ, who's not a good one. Decent weather in Minnesota. So Frazier, if you need the savings at third base, which I don't love the position that much, 2,700. I'll have some Todd Frazier for sure.
I almost just want to do one of my lineups with middling pitchers so I can get Devers in there. I don't know how much you guys have watched Devers this season, but especially recently, he is just mauling the baseball, and he's starting to come on too. And here, I got to get the wind for you because we got 15 miles out to right field. While it's going to lessen during the game, they're still going to have a few innings of that big wind out there. I love Devers, but he's just so expensive.
You'll get him. Nobody will have Devers lefty.
No, it's sub 5% on DK, right?
For sure. Yep. Only people that have him will be in a full Boston stack, I think.
Yeah, and it is tough to go on a one-off with him at 5.6.
I mean,
he's 3.4 on FanDuel. What do you think about him on FanDuel at 3.4?
I have no problem with it. He can hit lefties.
Yeah, he's just a badass. I absolutely love him. Like button, boys. Let's do it. We'll move on to shortstop. DC, let's start with you at shortstop here. A lot of options. What's the game plan at shortstop right now?
I mean, I think Trevor Story kind of really stands out up top. It's, kind of a cop out. I do prefer him generally against lefties, but Vince Velasquez will have to do for tonight. He's had good success against him in the past. 5,100. I know he's got a slow start to the year. I wouldn't buy into that at all. Trevor Story kind of, we know who he is at this point. Lindor let me down big time last night. I'm willing to go back to it against Eric Fedde. This is a really good steals matchup for Lindor. I think there's a good chance that you could steal a base or two in this one. Maybe something that some people will overlook. Correa against the lefty is always tempting, leading off for Houston against Andrew Heaney, who does give up a lot of home runs. And then I do like Eugenio Suarez always against a lefty. Gets a bad one in Kim of the Cardinals. But like up top, I mean, Bogarts is fine, but like Bichette, no thanks. Seager, no thanks. Tim Anderson, no thanks. So, not Trey Turner, no thank you. So a lot of the top shortstops are kind of off my list tonight.
Oh, Tony, he's 2.4 on FanDuel. He's facing a lefty. Freddie Galvis, baby. Give me some.
No, you haven't heard my nickname DC gave me. It's the platoon. I only like him against when he's at the left side of the plate.
Big platoon. That's what we call him. Not Big T
he's
anymore.
Big Platoon. I like Free Money Freddy though. How are you killing that?
I like him against right. I only play him against right. He's my guy.
We're not playing him against lefty tonight.
We're not playing him against lefties.
Right.
He's been crushing all year, but we don't like him from the right side. It's like Mancada. We don't play Mancada from the right side of the plate.
Okay. All right. Never mind on the Freddie Galvis.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Not tonight. We'll save him for maybe tomorrow when they see a righty.
That's good. So what do we got here? Short.
I think it's another short player pool for me, and I agree with DC. Story for sure. Eugenio for sure. Correa out of the one hole. I'd probably rank them 1, 2, 3. I mean, 2, 3 monsters at the top. I'm fine with any of those. Definitely Story's my favorite though, against Velasquez, obviously. And then we got for 2K, Zach Short out of the 2. He's hitting second for Detroit versus Mike Minor. And I'm good with that. Anytime I can get a guy in the 2 hole for 2K, I'll take my chances.
There's a lot of 2K players today. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's why I think there is a path where we can play 2 stud arms and still get a bunch of upside. Yeah. I don't know about you, DC, but I love when I can play whoever the 2 best arms are. Maybe we stack a team like Colorado and then play 3 cheap guys. I like those builds.
I already have a Glass now DeGrom team with a full Colorado stack,
without even having to work hard. Yeah, I mean, I love that. I absolutely love it.
Wow,
it's easy to do too. You're not even like if you play Zach Short, like you got a 2-hole hitter for 2K. I mean, you just don't need that much. I love that build.
So is this kind of like a bottom of the order stack with the Rockies, or is this a heart of the order thing or a wrap?
Well, you're not going to play Story if you're playing Short, so you're going to be off that. But yeah.
Well, yeah, Short's not even one of the guys in there. There's some other 2K guys that we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah.
No, Short is on Detroit. I get it, but with the Rockies,
the Rockies aren't that expensive.
Yeah, no, it's all the best Rockies basically.
Really, that's amazing because Tapia, Daza, Fuente, all these guys are really cheap down there.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see some pretty heavy ownership on the Rockies, but they're tough to fade. Yeah. I mean, they're just kind of the best plays. So
yeah, but if
we can always get different with our 3 1-offs. Like we'll get different somewhere.
Those 2K jabronis and paying up a pitcher, I can't imagine is going to be a really,
I mean, DeGrom's going to be very, very popular, but besides him, it won't be.
But pairing him with a Glass now, I cannot imagine that's going to be.
Yeah,
that's scary for people that aren't.
I do that so much too. I have to do that as much as anyone in DFS. Like I love playing those 2 stud arms because I don't mind playing the punt hitters. I don't mind it at all.
Big T's burner. Is that you, Big T, and your burner, or is that somebody?
Unfortunately, I literally have one 13-inch monitor, so I struggle to even keep up with the show. So I definitely do not have a burner going today. I could promise you that.
G-Ryzen, don't you dare give out your stack of the day on a free show, okay? Do not do it. You need to do that only for subscribers. You need to subscribe to this.
Come on, G-Ryzen. We don't give that out for free.
No, we're not giving that out.
I mean, we need at least like 300 likes to get G-Ryzen stack of the day.
I mean, 300 likes?
I mean, G-Ryzen picks winners.
G-Ryzen.
He picks winners on FanDuel. Yeah. To get winners, you got to click the like button for sure.
All right, here we go. G-Ryzen. Will you give out at least the team that it is at the top of your list if we hit 300 likes? We're at 203 right now. I think a lot of people are not familiar with G-Ryzen. One of the better analysts that we have in baseball too, FanDuel specifically. He really crushes.
G-Ryzen crushes.
I'm gonna have to get on the YouTube and hit the like button. I want that stack. I need to find
want it. No, I mean, come on. 14 games. All right, G-Ryzen, dude. Let's go. Let's get to these 300, and you're gonna get a special gift today. I think that's great. I love it. Outfield. Oh boy. I mean, either one of you, there's 14 games. How the hell am I narrowing this pool down, DC?
I think we can go 5K and above.
Yeah, let's
and
go
then 3 to 5K and then below 3K, something like that.
Now, how about we just go top shelf, like 5K and above, at least on DraftKings. So here's your pool: Laureano, Ohtani, Ozuna, Castellanos, who's been mashing the baseball, Judge, Grisham, Cruz, Harper, You think you have any of these guys tonight? Harper here in Colorado?
Hell yeah. Yeah. Give me some Bryce Harper. Like I mentioned, only one lefty in the pen for the Rockies. That's another, boost to Harper. And like I said, I do have a lot of respect for Marquez. I'll have Marquez on some lineups myself, but the ones that don't, Bryce Harper near the top of my list to get in the lineup. Even up at the very, very top, the 6K range, all three of those guys, Ronald Acuna, I mean, dude just been a monster. I'm a little worried coming back from that injury. Seems like
this is his first game, right?
Yeah, and like he hurt his like an abdominal strain. Like normally that's a minimum 10 days. So I don't know. I'm a little worried about that, but if you want to play him, I had no problem with it. Byron Buxton, I don't think anybody's playing Byron Buxton at 6,100 against Brubaker, who's a pretty good pitcher. But man, Buxton has just been mashing the baseball. Like there's nothing fluky going on. That doesn't necessarily mean that he can keep it up, but I mean, the dude has been hitting the ball harder than anybody in baseball. He can steal a base on this guy too. So I love Buxton up there. What I think is going to be super low ownership. And then, yeah, JD Martinez. I mean, he's been killing it too. Gets a lefty in Fenway Park. Like I got a long list of outfielders, but I mean, starting up at the very top, some great options there.
All right. So if we're going double pitcher up high, Big T, can we afford any of these guys at 5K plus?
I mean, these guys are all elite, like TC was saying. I mean, you look at these guys. This is why you can get unique so easy in baseball too, because we talked about it last time we did a big slate DC, but I mean, you could literally play like 70 outfielders or something. Like there is so many good plays, especially at the top. I mean, all these guys, Trout, Harper, Acuna, JD Martinez. Even then you get down to guys like Mitch Haniger against a lefty, Castellanos against a lefty. I mean, Kiki Hernandez against a lefty. You got all of these guys at the top of the lineup. And that's not even talking about the guys we're going to love. Charlie Blackmon for 4,500 is like a near lock to me. I don't know how you're not going to play Blackmon against freaking Velasquez for 4,500 in the middle of that lineup. You're going to have to. So, I mean, you could go down this list. Laureano, no one's going to play Laureano. If you play Laureano as a one-off and not in an Oakland stack, literally no one will have your team. You'll have a unique team just by doing that. I could just keep going down the list forever. You even got low-owned guys. Hunter Renfroe against a lefty, 3,200 off the page. I mean, I could go on forever. There's literally 50 different guys I like.
I was trying to be discerning because I knew there's just so many, and I got 24 outfielders written down here. So
what? Seriously?
There's unlimited. Like literally every team. You go team by team. If you're stacking, like I mean, there's so many you could play.
Yeah. I'll throw my one guy out here. I think Seth Brown has got to be in play tonight. Maybe you say who. He's going to be hitting down in the order for Oakland. He's a lefty, smashing right-handers. He's 3-3 on DraftKings, which is nice. But let me see here on FanDuel. 2-6 on FanDuel? Are you kidding me? I don't know why he's 17 on Yahoo. That doesn't make sense to me. But DC, Big T, anything with Seth Brown? I know we're looking for these cheap one-offs. I don't think anybody's going to be on him either unless you got an A stack.
Yeah, he looks good to me. He's been killing it. You know, the only worry about him is a possible pinch hit because he kind of is a righty killer, and they get a lefty in there. He could come out of the game, but not a sure thing by any means. So yeah, I'm in on Seth Brown. What is he? 3,300, I think, on DraftKings. Yeah, could easily go yard first to bat. So I think that's a good call.
This is like a Big T special here. Cheap platoon guy, 2-6 on FanDuel. I mean, seriously, 3-3 DraftKings, 2-6 on FanDuel, Big T. Not saying, I'm just throwing it out there. Here's another guy with great splits.
Yeah. So the problem is it's a huge slate, and I'm just not on Oakland. So I'm not going to play a splits guy in that spot. I mean, my issue completely is these Rockies. Like you got just going down them, you got Tapia in the one hole for 3K. You got Blackmon, obviously, and you got this Daza who's been on fire for 2,700. Like he's looked good to me. So these prices are super cheap. I have a hard time not playing the Rockies in the outfield, as chalky as it might be.
So Daza is hitting 6. I mean, look at this lineup too.
It's just so good. I mean, I agree with DC. We got good mojo about the Rockies because I know they're going to be chalky, but we're just going to have to get different somewhere else, I think.
Crone, Daza, Nunez, Tapia. Here's my concern. I wonder if you share this or not, DC, because Big T sounds like he's on Charlie Blackmon. He's looked like crap to start the season. I don't have the exit velo stat in front of me, but he looks uncomfortable, at least from the eye test. What's your take on Charlie Blackmon?
I mean, he probably wasn't comfortable. He had to play in 35 degrees every day in Field. So this will help.
Even when it's not cold, he hasn't looked good.
Yeah, it's fair enough. I mean, there's no question Charlie Blackmon isn't the player he was 3 or 4 years ago. That's not up for debate. But I still think he's good enough at 4,500 to take against Vince Velasquez. So I get what you're saying, totally, Holden. But I
just
think
say you're wrong. I'm playing Charlie Blackmon.
He's got enough left in the tank for this matchup.
All right, so
DC.
I'm wrong.
So my decision always comes down to this, DC. Tell me what you do, because usually my last spot always comes down to like playing Tapia in the 1 or Daza in the 6. I almost always choose the 6-hole hitter. How do you decide when it comes down to those two?
I mean, I'm usually trying to dig in and find who's the actual more skilled hitter, got the better.
You're definitely more in depth than me with that, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It's more based on who I actually think is better, less than who I think is going to be less owned, which I think is kind of the route.
If you thought they were pretty even, though, just say they're pretty similar plays, which way would you go?
I would lean the 6-hole guy there, especially the fact that Daza is a righty starting against a righty means that he almost certainly won't get pinch hit for.
We got to take a minute. Hold on, not to interrupt you, but my man Joyce is not in the lineup. You got to be kidding me.
Play taps.
This is like I should have unregistered my contest last night when Buster Posey wasn't in. It was just a total disaster.
How can they not put Joyce in the lineup?
I know how you feel.
Do you? Do you know?
Well, you got Brad Miller in there. That's all good.
I mean, he's devastating.
DC had me so happy about Joyce.
Yeah.
You're gonna play Andrew freaking McCutchen in the 1-hole over Joyce? Oh my god. Well, at least I don't have to play Philly now.
No, Matt Joyce has got you off the Phillies.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so excited when you talked it up. We had great mojo going, man.
But we gotta water off the back. We gotta keep going.
Way to go, DC. Right. Way to go.
It's my bad.
Man, how do they how do they not? I don't know how.
Let me place a call into Joe Girardi. We can get that lineup changed. Things.
Yeah, he's not going to care what we say.
I'll head down to Coors Field. I'll jump the fence.
I might come with you. I'm very upset.
Yeah. So 443 watching, 235 likes. We hit 300. G Ryzen gives out the team that he's stacking tonight, and I'm telling you, don't mess with G Ryzen. This guy knows what he's doing. You probably haven't heard of him. Even if you're a sub, the guy doesn't get the respect he deserves.
I haven't heard of G Ryzen. Wow. That's
there's a lot of, G Ryzen's. Does he ever do this show?
He's a regular podcast guest. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he does your podcast. I guess some people, you guys know G Ryzen. Let's go. Let's get to 300. I want the guy to give out his core today. That'll be really nice.
Is this Reds game? It's not 7 innings, is it? Why is the total so low?
Because the wind is blowing from side to side. That's a hell of a good question.
It's 60 degrees though. Why is the total so low? It's not like, Sonny Gray's decent, but is this Kim better than I think he is?
I don't think Kim's any good.
Why is the total so low? I don't understand that.
So maybe they like what they've seen out of Young Kim so far, who
they might
be due for some regression. So is that an over bet for us?
I was just thinking it was a 7-inning game and realized it wasn't.
I try not to look at the totals until after I've done all my research, because then I'll be maybe write off a game or players that I would have otherwise liked. So
yeah. Because if you just looked at this total, you'd be like, why in the world am I playing Reds guys when they have a 3.7 total?
I got some Reds on my team for sure.
They look good. I don't get that. That seems like an easy over to me.
Oh dang, Jeremy Kahn. What up, Jeremy? Here's my counterpart up in Baltimore. Good dude. Who's getting a $555 ticket? Are you giving it away in Discord, Jeremy? Woohoo! He said he's giving out $555 if you want the good mojo.
That's some good mojo right there, if that's true.
That's some good mojo from
boy
Jeremy.
G-Ryzen, I love you, but I mean, now it's like if we get to 300.
Get G-Ryzen out of here. We don't need his plays
done,
anymore.
G-Ryzen.
We got or maybe they can use G-Ryzen's plays on the free entry.
No, let's just get G-Ryzen out of here.
Okay, get out of there, G-Ryzen.
Get out of here, G-Ryzen. I mean, we love you, G-Ryzen, but get out of here.
Did he say that? He's giving a 555?
Yep. You know what, Jeremy? If we get how many likes we need now for him to give it out in Discord? That's what we need to do. How many likes we need?
Ask him. I mean, he's giving the ticket. Jeremy, how many likes do we need to give this 555 out?
And then we could pick the one. I got to talk to Simon too, because I want to dance around some of the.
Yeah, I mean, it's Jeremy though. He's in the chat. I mean, it's up to him. We're not
how many
soliciting anything.
Yeah, how many likes we need?
Or just ask Jeremy what he needs.
Yeah,
he always brings the good mojo too.
You just want us to pick the winner? Okay, 300 likes. You got it. No problem. Jeremy Kahn feeling it today. He's hit a couple of big ones here, and
he does well. He does well sports betting too. He posts his winners and he does a good job.
JT Hayes in the chat. I mean, what are you doing? Holding the hater.
Podcast was good stuff last night. Those of you that didn't listen to DC, I mean, anytime DC and JT Hayes go on any show, you should be listening because they're baseball guys. I can just picture them circle jerking the stats and all the stuff they got going. They love that stuff, but it's good. It's good entertainment. I couldn't think of any two people I'd rather listen to talk about baseball than those two.
It's a nice stroke.
Am I going to have to go back to JSU, our human resources director, after that comment?
No.
I'm very offended.
Send them my way.
I'll send the complaint your way. I'll hit you up in Discord. Yeah, 350. Let's go, Jeremy. You're bringing the good mojo today. I love it, buddy. I love it.
Awesome mojo.
Still love G-Ryzen, though. Still love G-Ryzen. It's my boy. We have a good time during the football season doing our podcast, me and him and Big T. Or no, Uncle T. Are we done with outfield? I feel like we've got more stuff.
We're not done. I got some more outfielders.
Yeah, you said you had 24? 24?
He's got 24, and I got like 50 on my list still. I got to narrow it down.
I did all this research. I need to list my guys for the people.
There's what?
Let's hear them.
14 times 3 is what? 42. So there's 84 outfielders, and you got 50 tonight, Big T?
There's 14 games. That's 28.
Right, but there's 2 teams that play in those games.
Yeah, 28 times 3.
Yeah, 28 times 3.
What is that?
That was like 84.
Not a big math guy.
Whatever.
All right, here we go. Couple guys that are going to be way low owned. Brian Reynolds for the Pirates. I think you'll get him at 1-2% ownership, 4K. Switch hitter, swinging it well from the right side this year, and I do like picking on Jay Happ a little bit tonight if you're just looking to go off the board a little. Jordan Luplow for the Indians, been on fire, 5 home runs already, leading off against a lefty. But he's been hitting righties this year too. The big worry with him all last year when he just killed lefties was that he would be pinch hit for. Hasn't been really happening. So I think he'll probably stay in the lineup all game for the Indians. He's 3.9K. I really like Justin Upton against Zach Greinke. Greinke actually gets hit much harder by right-handed bats. No surprise, given that, he's just kind of a straight junk baller. He doesn't have like a good slider or anything like that. And Upton has killed Greinke in the past, got 4 or 5 home runs off of him in his career, 3.2K there. He'll be super low owned. And if you want to go cheap, I got 4 good cheap guys. Dylan Carlson out of the 2-hole for the Cardinals against Sonny Gray. He's 2,800. Good young hitter. He's got power. Think he's good. Manuel Margot for the Rays. I actually kind of like the Rays a little bit against Steven Matz. He's been good so far on the surface. I'm not a big believer that he's some new improved pitcher or anything. Margot, you can run on Matz, and Margot, a speed guy. So 2,700 for him. And then 2 stone minimum dudes. We've talked about a couple already. Twins prospect Alex Kirilloff called up today. He's their number 1 hitting prospect. He's like a top 10 overall hitting prospect. The best praise I can give him, he made his major league debut in the playoffs last year. His major league debut in the playoffs, they called him up because he was doing so well at the alternate site, and they have such faith in his hitting ability. Hitting 5th for the Twins tonight. He's 2K. You can play him at first base or second base. And the last guy, Tommy Pham against Clayton Kershaw. Pham off to a bad start, but the metrics suggest he's still doing well. He's stone minimum. I assume you'll get him super low owned too.
I'm just going to tell you this right now that your boy Kirilloff probably has the best looking girlfriend. Might even be married.
There we go. Boost him up a little bit more then. Let's go.
Holy moly. I mean, you talk about a smoke show. This girl takes the cake. She's absolutely amazing looking. So congratulations to him.
Yeah.
Way to go, buddy.
Kirilloff by far my most owned hitter tonight.
Well, now I'm going to have, that's it. He's in my lineup. Kirilloff, lock him in.
Yeah, he's going to be in my lineup too. 2K out of the 5-hole against a righty that I don't love. Now DC strokes him up. I'm excited. He got me excited again. I needed this play after Joyce.
He's going yard today. I guarantee it.
Joyce, you're out of here. Kirilloff, you're in.
Kirilloff's a way better hitter than Joyce. That's a good upgrade for a big team.
I definitely wasn't comparing the two for sure.
Anybody else, boys, at Outfield? By the way, we still need 30 likes before the end of the show, which is coming up very soon, in order to have a $555 ticket, not a $5.55, not a $5.55 ticket. Jay Elliott, Jeremy Kahn's going 555.
I think he said 350 though, so 300's G Rising, 350 is.
Oh yeah, we're not getting. Jeremy's not giving that out today. I don't have faith in these guys. 300 for G Rising, possibly. Come on, let's go. Show the love.
Maybe he'll have to ship it to old Uncle Holden, and then we'll get some winners.
Uncle, I'm an uncle now. I'm that old.
Probably. You seem like you might be an uncle.
All right, I'll shave my beard. I'll look young again. So this is like a month of growth. Also, stacks. Big T. Anybody else besides for the rocks that you're on tonight?
I mean, I'm looking at a few different spots. I mean, so what? Logan Allen's the guy the Reds beat up when we stacked the Reds like a week ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Yankees have been terrible. We really haven't talked about them at all. But the prices are pretty low against a guy like Logan Allen. I don't hate going to the Yankees here. The wind's blowing out a little bit. The weather is a little bit warmer. I don't know. I think the Yankees could be a sneaky pivot off of the Rockies tonight for me. And also, I don't hate the Twins and I don't hate the White Sox. Those are like a couple of so I'm still heavy on Colorado, but these are the pivots I would go to.
DC, little Rays. I hear you like a little Rays. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm in on the Rays. It's kind of a super off the wall one. Rockies, of course, we've talked about them a bunch. I like both sides of the Twins and Pirates game. I think pretty much everyone in that game outside of Kirilloff, you're going to get at close to zero ownership. Like, people don't really want to play Donaldson and Cruz unless they're facing a lefty, which they're not tonight. Byron Buxton, people are going to say he's too expensive, right? So I think they're just going to be low owned. And then on the Pirates side, that middle of the order, Evans, Reynolds, Todd Frazier looks pretty tasty to me against Jay Happ. I'll throw in the Braves, who I think will be low owned tonight against Luke Weaver. I'm not a big believer in him. They got Acuna back. I mean, Acuna, Freeman, Ozuna, Albies, they could do some serious damage right there. So a number of ways you can go. I'll second the Yankees. We don't even have a lineup for them yet. But Logan Allen's just kind of a soft tossing lefty. He's not any good. That's perfect for guys like Judge and Stanton, right? So Gary Sanchez even. So yeah, we haven't talked much about the Yankees, but they could easily go off for 5-6 home runs tonight.
Just a shout out to Bobby Gomes here. Actually, it's not a shout out. Bobby Gomes, what are you doing, man? Are you like Googling me or putting my name in on YouTube? You know what Bobby Gomes did this morning? He took a 10-year clip of me singing karaoke for charity and puts it in the coordinator chat today. Bobby,
I did watch that. You look good, man. I was impressed. You got a good, nice voice,
creepy.
Nice singing voice there.
I didn't even see it yet. I got to check it out.
Yeah. Like I was saying, that night was a nice little former Fox News anchor, and she liked my singing. I'll just say that. Boy, where the hell did it go? Where did time go? Anyways, it's time for the plays of the day.
I got two more comments just because the Twins lineup. Okay. One thing, you got Kirilloff and Cave, both 2K, both against a righty. The bottom of the Twins lineup, that's a team I can get behind. Stack the bottom of the Twins with two stud pitchers, DeGrom and whoever other guy you want at the top. You can even throw in DC sneaky Pirates with it, maybe go a full game stack there with two stud pitchers. The bottom of this Twins lineup looks perfect. I like Polanco better against righties too, even though he's in the 6 hole. I like Polanco down there in the 6. So give me the bottom half of in Buxton. I mean, no one's going to play Buxton. Sign me up for like 4 to 9 of the Twins.
I really like the Twins. I think all 9 Twins are pretty good plays tonight.
All right.
The only one I never like is that leadoff dude. I hate that guy. I don't know why.
He can hit, man. I love Luis Ariz. I don't play him that much in DFS because he's got no power, but I love watching him play baseball. One of my favorite players.
And then, one more comment too before you get to so Bart in the chat says DC tells us who to pitch, Big T tells us who to hit, and Holden tells us whose wife to Google. That's a quality comment right there.
I mean, Jeremy wants us to give the ticket out. Is that
if he wants us to give a ticket, it should go to Bart for sure, because that comment is very good.
Hey, it's important to know your role in life, right? You got to stay in your lane.
Yeah, I mean, listen, guys. Yeah, I mean, I don't pretend. I love DFS. It is a passion of mine. I spend a ton of time on. I'm just not as good as you guys. I'm just not. I try.
I gotta pay you a compliment. You came out firing. You were naming every player that was at the top of my list. You did your research.
This is the problem.
You did.
I know. I know it as well as anybody. It's putting a damn lineup together to win $1 million, which is holding me back. I mean, it's fine. We're doing it. I love it.
The goal is to win $1 million. You should have a goal to win like a couple thousand to start out.
All right, my goal is to
victories.
To double my money tonight. No. All right, a couple thousand, $2,000.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first goal.
You're going to get it tonight, too, because we got good mojo going here.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I know what I'm talking about. I study it. I'm just not as good as these, but they're not hosts like me. So what are you going to do? That's the difference between me and Mangone. You know, he's even better than me, but then you got to listen to his voice. I heard he's going like game by game on this show, too. Is that true? You can't go game by game.
We can't control him, man. He does whatever he wants. We're just here along for the ride.
I love Mangone. Yeah, so that's it. That's your winner right there. Bart Lockhart. Jeremy Kahn is giving you a 5.55, dude. Congratulations. That's really impressive. I love it. I mean, I'm not Googling people's wives, John. It just happens to be that this man has a very good, attractive looking woman. All right, plays the day, because we got our Wood show coming up next in the NBA. And I want to remind everybody, every day, 45 minutes before lock, me and JSU, the best GPP player in the world, do our Up to Lock show in the NBA. So tonight it would be 6:45 Eastern time. Mom's basement play of the day.
I feel like on a Friday I should be able to give away a couple. 14 games.
Do it.
I'm gonna give you 3 low-owned dudes that are going yard. We'll start with my boy, the Todd father, Todd Frazier, out of the 6 hole for the Pittsburgh Pirates. 2,700, play him at third base. He's number 1. Number 2, Justin Upton. We've been on him. He's looked good. Good BVP. I'm not a big BVP guy, but I'll buy in this case. It makes sense to me against Zach Greinke, 3,200. And then, he's got a hot wife. He's 2K. Twins call up. My favorite team. Alex Kirilloff got to make the list.
Big T, what's your play? What are we calling your play of the day these days? What is it?
Still the workbench. It's got,
All right,
I like
workbench.
that. Workbench, yeah.
All right,
I like that.
Let's go. Workbench it up, baby. Who we got?
Well, I'm trying to. DC got me excited again talking about BVP. I like when we get a big sample of BVP. So what's this Justin Upton BVP we were talking about?
Yeah, he's got like
3 bombs, 39.
1,100 OPS, 5 or 6 bombs. Yeah, he's crushed him.
I like that. I mean, a sneaky guy. Obviously, I could list the guys we already listed are going to be chalky. One lone guy that sticks out to me that no one's going to play. We just got the Yankees lineup. Clint Frazier out of the 8 hole is 2,800. I always like Clint Frazier. You could even play him with Gary down there, play the catcher, play maybe Gio in the 5, play a little 5, 7, 8 Yankees, but Clint Frazier is going to be the workbench play. He's going to hit a bomb tonight for 2,800. Put him with DC's boy Kirilloff. We got a bunch of cheap plays. I think we might land on this 2-stud pitcher thing tonight.
I'm throwing out plays, guys. I'm giving you the edibles play of the day. I can't see the background right now. Hopefully Simon took the beer that I was holding out because I don't drink. If you're paying up, it's Devers. No one's going to be on Devers tonight. And if you're paying down, you want a one-off from the A's, Seth Brown. I'm telling you. Nice little platoon here. Yes, DC brought up a good point. The guy might get pinch hit for late, but I think he can do damage before that.
Doesn't matter if he gets pinch hit for, if he hits that bomb before he
That's
leaves.
all we need. We need one or two doubles and a couple RBIs, and we're set. So Seth Brown is who I'm going with. Edibles play of the day. Remind you, RPS Heater 25. New code for our site. Sign up for the monthly Elite or Elite Plus Bets option. Get 25% off your first payment. You get the monthly subscription, though. You got to sign up for the monthly subscription. Jeremy Kahn, I mean, you're awesome, dude.
How do we
Totally
get
awesome.
this dude hooked
Thank
up
you
with
very
Jeremy
much.
Kahn, though? We got to make sure we get him hooked up. Do they know how to contact him or whatever?
Yeah, he said, I mean, hopefully our guy is still in there. Hopefully our guy, because I told him to hit him up. Who was it? Bart, right?
Yeah, hit him up on Twitter if you are still in there,
Yeah,
Bart.
and if you know Bart, make sure you tell him that he won. So that's good. I was reading Barrick and Gary's dong calls. I don't even know what that is. What is a Barrick and Gary dong call? Do you know?
That's two people from our Discord.
Oh, no, I don't know them.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Did they have Seth Brown and Endeavors?
They must have.
Well, then they're brilliant and geniuses. All right, catch the Wood Show coming up next. Talk some NBA. Then the premium show, me and JSU, 6:45 Eastern.
Watch that MMA show tomorrow too, because that show's the best.
11 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
11 o'clock. MMA winners. It's completely awesome.
There's Bart right there. Tell him. Reach out to Jeremy Kahn on Twitter. Like, is that what's his Twitter thing, Holden?
I don't know. I don't know what
I'll
Jeremy
find
Kahn's
it.
Twitter is, but yeah.
I'll find it so we make sure we take care of
Oh,
him.
yeah. Reach out in Discord too. He should be in there. Give him your
Here it is.
PayPal or
It's
whatever.
Jeremy Kahn 1057. Jeremy CONN 1057 on Twitter.
Yeah.
Great mojo. Reach out there, Bart.
Yeah. Hey, Big T, I always say keep running pure, but you know what to tell Simon right now, don't you?
That's on the premium show. I can't do that.
Oh, you can't just say stop the show. All right. Hey.